Today we are going to talk about worries, something that we all experience at some time or another, right? Sometimes our worries, though, they can be so overwhelming. What if this happens? What if that happens? My friend Lindsay, we were talking and they were talking about like, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if this happens? And then I replied with, and what if a velociraptor comes tearing through the room? And then they laughed, right? And it stopped them from their worries, which was the point of why I said it. But this is what happens. We worry about all the things that could possibly happen. And sometimes we get so caught up in worrying about what could potentially happen that we don't actually do anything, because what if? Well, what if I went to that party and I didn't know anybody there? And what if nobody talked to me? What if I was so embarrassed? And what if I stood in the corner? And what if, right? What if I went to go launch my new program? And what if I did a webinar? And what if nobody showed up? And what if I didn't make any sales? And what if it was a failure? I better not do it. Worrying over something that may or may not happen. I have been through the ringer, hit by a bus. I'm now up to 6 surgeries and I'm awaiting 2 more this year. I have been through it. Lots of things that I could worry about. Is something else going to happen? What's going to happen next? Is this going to happen? What about this? Right? But I don't. And not because well, I've already been through the worst. What could possibly happen next, right? Last summer, they had to take out my prosthesis that I waited a year for because it became infected all of a sudden, years after it had gone in. So yeah, I could very easily get caught up in what ifs and worries, but they don't help. I don't know what's happening next. I know what's happening here and now. This is the only moment I have to work with. So I'm going to work with what's here and now in this moment. I teach this idea of the 2 arrows. So the first arrow, that's what I call them, the inevitable pains of life. We all will face something. It doesn't have to be hit by a bus, multiple neurosurgeries. It could be stuck in traffic. It could be I have a sales page to put out. It could be anything. It doesn't matter what this moment is. We will all face something: work stress, life stress, relationship stress, get sick, whatever. We will all face something. This first arrow will show up. It could even just be I'm tired and my alarm's gone off and I had to get up and go to work. That could be your first arrow. The second arrow is our thoughts, our resistance, our judgments to this first arrow. So everything we throw on top of it. And this one, my friend, is optional. So this first arrow is I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to, do all the things, right? But what if nobody signs up for my webinar? What if nobody shows up? And what if I make 0 sales? And what if my business crashes and burns? What if I never make any money? What if nobody ever buys my products? What if nobody ever watches my videos? What if nobody ever hires me? What if? Worries. I'm having all these worries, these thoughts, these what ifs. Again, they're thoughts. They're not here in this moment. There's what ifs and worries about something that could happen, but also might not happen. But if I'm caught up in them, if these worries won't stop, then I'm probably not going to do the webinar. I'm probably not going to launch the program. I'm probably just going to be like, well, entrepreneurship isn't for me. I'll just get a job or whatever. This is why we pay attention to our worries and to notice them. Like, oh, this is showing up again. Why is this showing up? Oh, there's emotion attached to it. What are the emotions that are coming up? Why am I nervous? Why am I scared? Why is this fear showing up? Because this is a moment that I've never met before. And so I don't know how to proceed my way through it. And so I'm scared and I'm nervous. So doubts and worries show up. I can breathe my way through them and I can do things anyways. I say that and I know how simple and easy this sounds. I'm sure you can do it, but I could never, right? I could never, before learning how to use mindfulness to breathe my way through this stuff. I'm telling you, I was even practicing mindfulness already. I wouldn't have shown up on camera like this. With like, there's no bone over here. Wouldn't have done it. I remember, so this all started with first my scar opened. I don't know, just did. And there was a big thing here. And they tried to fix it with surgery, didn't work. This was the fifth surgery I've had. Didn't work. And so for a year, it was still open. And then eventually the prosthesis got infected and then they had to take it out. I remember I did, I decided to participate in a speech competition with the hole in my head. And it was a lot more visible than this is. And I had to like put out there the video speech and I had to ask people to vote for me and I had to just show up. And the night before I had written the speech, recorded it, everything was great. And when it was time to turn it in, I almost didn't do it. Because I worried about what people would think about me and how I looked with the hole in my head. And I'd been teaching and running the mindfulness journey for a few years at this point, meditating, I'd overcome many of my other worries and concerns and shyness and anxiety. And it was managing all of it well. And then I was like, I don't know if I can do this. So when I say, like, just let them go. I know how hard this is. Like me right now, I could very easily get caught up in the worries about showing up with the big scar. I mean, I got a little sore where it hasn't fully healed, and the hole and the divot and the grays because I can't dye my hair, obviously. Right? But thoughts are just thoughts. I mean, someone inevitably will probably at some point write something rude about how I look because people have. But I don't need to listen to it and I don't need to believe it. I don't need to now sitting here recording this worry about what may or may not happen because most of the comments I get are lovely and people supporting me and encouraging me. Right? So I don't need to worry. And when worries show up, I know what to do about them. But I don't need to get caught up in worries about what ifs. So noticing when your what ifs show up. Mine show up around promoting my programs. I have a course available from overwhelm to ease. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. From taking you from feeling overwhelmed all the time to feeling more ease. There's meditations, there's trainings, a lot of it's similar to this and not in that what I'm sharing here is like the whole course is not made up of these videos, but this style where I'm talking to you. That's how I teach. This is my teaching style. So from Overwhelmed to Ease has videos, trainings like this, meditations and worksheets and practices, right, to help you learn how to incorporate this stuff. Feel more ease, to stop overthinking, to stop worrying all the time, or to when you are worrying, to notice when it shows up. They said, we have 2 more surgeries coming up. I have no idea when they're coming up. I have a choice. I can either worry all day, every day, from now until whenever they happen, or whenever a worry pops up around the surgery, I can remind myself that that's what I say is, that's future Charlene's problem. And when that first arrow shows up, then we can do something about it. Until then, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let that arrow fly. I'm going to come to this moment because this is the only one I can do something about. I mean, my new prosthesis is this, again, this is February. My new prosthesis is going to be in like 6 months. Do I want to worry for 6 months? No. I'll worry the day of the surgery. I mean, I will for sure. It's scary. It's scary, but I won't worry until then. And when the worry pops up, that's future Charlene's problem. Charlene, this Charlene only has to think about this video. And that is like a huge weight that comes off of you by learning how to be with the first arrow and not all the arrows that we throw on top, the thoughts, the judgments, the resistance to this first arrow, because that adds suffering on top of the pain. And that's a lot. That's too much. Learning how, and I teach you inside my programs to get rid of this and to just be with this and this. Well, I can do something about this. Oh, this YouTube video that I'm recording on worries, I can handle this. No big deal. Got this. What comes next? When it comes, when that moment arises, I will meet that moment and I show you how to meet this moment. Don't meet the moment until it's here, because our brains like to overcomplicate things. You don't know what's here until it's here. And so by learning mindfulness, I teach you how to work with what's here, to be with what's here, because this concern you can do something about. Those worries about what could potentially happen, unfortunately, right now, you can do nothing about them. So why bother? Let those arrows go. Come to this moment. It's this moment you can do something about. I said my program, I'll put a link to the sales page. From overwhelmed to ease, helps you learn how to do this. So I talk about the 2 arrows. I go into it a bit more inside the program, as well as some other strategies and practices to help you with these moments. To learn how to be in this moment, to learn how to make changes and choices in this moment. I'll put that below so you can sign up and you can find out more about it. And I wanted to just remind you that our worries, like, while they have a purpose and while they can help us to learn what, makes us nervous, where fear shows up in our lives, we don't need to attach to them. We can investigate them with the beginner's mind, the curiosity. Investigate what's coming up. What are our thoughts connected to this worry? What's going on outside of me when this worry shows up? Does it only show up when I'm faced with something new? Does it show up when it's faced with something that makes me where I need to be more visible? Right? Does it show up when I need to ask people something? Right? Noticing, paying attention. I show you how to do it inside my programs. So taking some time during this week to start bringing some of that curiosity into your life and to noticing where some of these worries are showing up and seeing if you can not attach to them and if you can let them just float on by. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye.